Now my mic is on. Hi, everybody. Hello, hello. How is everyone this evening? Hi, Miss Laurel. Yes, yay. And Miss Chamberlain, you got the message? Sweet. Very, very good. Very good. Very good. So if you are just joining us, and you want to know how to know whenever there's a live broadcast or whenever a new video is uploaded, just where it says subscribe up under the videos, hit the little bell icon. If you hit the little bell, it will give you a notification whenever there is a video that's uploaded, as well as if I go live. It'll let you know if you want to be notified whenever I hit the live stream. So, greetings and welcome, YouTube. I am Eve with the Baby's Booty, and today we're doing a live broadcast on how to do a bandana and embroider on a bandana. That was a question that was posed to me today, actually, earlier today. I was received an email question about how to embroider on a bandana for it to be worn, and then tied behind the head, and then the person's name is on the front. And I took a picture of it, but of course, I don't have it right here in my hands close to the computer so that I can show it to you. So hopefully you guys will, I can get you a picture of it and show it to you later. But for the time being, before we get started, I wanted to thank you all for joining me today. And we got a storm going on or getting ready to kick off near here. I didn't know that. And so I have Jake in here today. And hopefully my signal will stay good and strong, which that's one of the things I wanted to point out today. I had wanted to let you all know why I was having issues with um, the internet and why I couldn't live stream as well, because I was having issues um, streaming live the last time I streamed, as well as the time before that. And it kind of had me frustrated. And I was laying out Time Warner cable. Well, they're not Time Warner anymore, they're Spectrum. I was laying out Spectrum saying, oh my God, I can't believe this. I pay for high quality internet. I even pay extra for it's called Turbo internet, because everything we do in our household is internet based. We don't watch television at all, none whatsoever. I haven't watched television in probably 5 years. But we don't look at regular TV, so that's pointless. Everything we do, all the information that we get in is via the internet. So I pay for higher speed. So when it's acting up, that frustrates me. And I was like, okay, I'm getting on the phone with these guys. So I called them yesterday. I was like, look, my internet's in and out again. I'm trying to stream, I'm trying to go live, and it's just not working for me. I need you guys, because my internet would just drop for whatever reason. Well, he came out today, and first thing he did was check where the modem is, and he was like, so what do you look at, when it goes out? I was like, I don't even check the modem when it goes out. He was like, oh, okay, well, let me check outside. Guys, I'm trying to tell y'all, this is the craziest thing ever. Let me show you what was going on with my internet, right? So I called them out today. As you see, Time Warner Cable, they still got Time Warner on there, like, their Spectrum now. But I called him out, and he says, let's go around the side of the house and check where the line comes in on this side of the house. I'm like, okay, cool. So we go out there, and he's like, here's our problem. Can y'all see what the heck that is? Man, I was so mad. Can you see what that is? If you can't, let me circle and show you what this is. Check this out. So those are chew marks. Those are chew marks. And those are 2 marks. And that's the face I was making when I realized that one of my crazy dogs was out there chewing on my goddamn cable line for my internet going into the house, and that gray pipe coming out the ground was there to keep them nuts from chewing on it, but they found a way around it and to pull it out even further and chew on it anyway. So I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy at all, y'all. I was livid. So I'm like, blockhead dogs, they got a hold to my dang on cable wire, and they've been messing up my internet for I don't know how long, because I think we started having trouble maybe a couple of months ago because somebody's been out there chewing, and I'm not sure if it's Jake or if it's Lily, and you guys haven't met Lily yet. But both of them are puppies, and my other dog Daisy, she's much older. I think she's like 13, and she's long past the chewing up stuff phase. So it's either Jake or it's Lily, and I'm willing to bet it's Lily because she's actually just over a year old and she still likes chewing up stuff. So that's what's been going on with my internet and why I couldn't get my video up yesterday like I wanted to, because yesterday was hectic. You know, internet out, in and out, in and out. I just couldn't upload it. And when I finally tried to upload the video last night, I fell asleep on it. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make it up to you guys and just go live today. Not that I'm a present or something like that, but it would be more fun to go live. And that way I can answer questions live as well. So, alrighty, Miss Johnson, you're ready to learn. You're a beginner? Yes. And Sheila, yay, you finally made a live stream. Welcome. Welcome to the Baby's Booty Live. Yes, ma'am. So today, back to what we're doing today. Today we're doing bandanas. I received a question on how to embroider on a bandana. And bandanas are quite simple to do. As a matter of fact, this was almost the easiest thing that I've ever embroidered. So I want to run through this and just show you how it went. It won't be quite step by step like I usually do, but I'm going to try and give you enough information where we can get everything squared away. Now, today, putting the name or embroidery on the bandana, we are not going to use Sew It Pro today, because once I show you how to do this with just the machine, you will be able to incorporate Sew It Pro or whatever other embroidery design editing software program you choose to use. Okay, so today is just basically straight embroidery machine, and anyone can do it. This is going to be on a 4x4 machine, so you don't have to have like multi-needle or big machine or anything like that. And we are going to embroider on a bandana. Now, the bandanas that I have today, I got from Dollar Tree, right? So Dollar Tree has, I don't even know what this material is, polyester. They have polyester bandanas, right? So here's what it looks like. Where did I get this from? I want to say this was in the section where it's in the section where the hairbrushes and hair bows and stuff like that, it was there, but it wasn't on the same side as the hair bows and stuff. It was on the other side of the aisle. So somewhere in that area you should find, hopefully, bandanas. And as you see, it says it's 2 to a pack. That's because they have red and blue in one pack, and I didn't see any other colors there. So these are polyester, but generally bandanas are cotton. So if you are going to do a authentic cotton bandana, this would be even easier for you. But I'm using Dollar Tree because I don't have any bandanas myself. And I just wanted to invest something easy so that we can tear through these and it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But they're pretty sturdy. So they come in the pack. They're hanging on the rack just like so. And you take them off and it folds out to where, you know, kind of silky-ish on one side and a little shiny polyester-y on the other side. It doesn't stretch much at all, actually. And it's a pretty decent, I mean, I think this is normal bandana size. I have no earthly clue, but I pulled out the blue ones to show you. Now, easy peasy, mac and cheesy, okay? So you take your bandana and then you Now this is for the ones who are wearing it like I have it in the picture, where it's folded just like this, and then you put it on and tie it that way. That's what this tutorial is for. And of course, it can still go along any edge or anything like that, but I'm just doing step by step to show how to do the tutorial with it. Did it stop? Am I still talking for nothing? No, it's showing it's still live. Okay, I'm sorry. It looked like it had stopped. I'm sorry. So I'm just checking. So this tutorial is just for the ones where it's going to be tied around the head. All right. So to find the middle part of the bandana, right, you fold it in half and make a triangle. Reason being is just like I showed you, it's going to be tied where the middle is at the front, and the name is going to go right here. All right. So once you find your middle, then what you want to do is grab a ruler. All right. So once you get your ruler, now we know this side, that side, it doesn't matter which side it is. But if you put the ruler, and of course this is going to work out much better lying flat on the table. This, lay this flat on the table and then put the ruler where you want your name to be. What line do you want your name to sit on, right? So I'm going to show you this one, which I've already put my lines on. And this is with the marker, the fabric marker, where the ink disappears. So this is where those invisible or disappearing ink markers really come in handy. So here I've marked this one. So I laid it flat on the table and I put the ruler where I wanted the name to go. And it allowed me to draw a straight line that we're going to follow with the embroidery machine. So do you see there's a straight line there? And then I also took the same ruler and I measured from, well, I didn't measure, but I laid it along the corner of this triangle as well as that one to help line everything up nice and straight. And I laid this there and made the up and down mark. This one here, the center mark for the hoop, right? So you have your bandana, you have your line mark where you want the embroidery to go. So when we turn this upside down, which this is how it's going to be worn against the head, you see where the name, yeah, there we go. You see where the name is going to fall once we embroider the name right here. So the bottom, the area right in here. Now I marked this for, gave it a generous amount of room down here at the bottom so that we can use 3/4 inch letters up to an inch letters, something there in, because this line is the middle of all those letters. All right. So in recap, we fold it in half. You take the bandana, fold it in half, lay the ruler a good little bit away from the top. Matter of fact, let's measure this and see where this falls. 1/2 inch, roughly 1/2 inch from the edge. You can go even bigger. It's entirely up to you because a lot of it is going to depend upon the size of the letters that you're going to use. And your client or your customer or even yourself, you want to know what size letters you're going to actually put on here. So if you're going to use 3/4 inch letters, then you definitely want to make sure that you're a good 1/2 inch from the edge of the bandana so that your letters will fall in a good middle range. So we measure down, we put our line for the hoop guide, and then we want the straight up and down line as well for the hoop guide. All right. So now that you've marked your bandana, we're going to switch to a red one that I already hooped. Now, before actually we get to the hooping, you're going to have stabilizer, right? You're embroidering on something, for the most part, everything that you embroider on is going to need stabilizer. So the stabilizer that I chose for the bandana, especially this one because it's so thin, I use the Polymesh No Show. Now this is Polymesh No Show. And as you see, it's got like this weave in it and you can see through it really good. and it's good and soft and pliable. This is excellent stabilizer. It's cutaway, Polymesh no-show cutaway stabilizer. And I will add the link to this, my Amazon affiliate link to this, in the description here shortly. All right. So you order or you get your Polymesh no-show stabilizer because it's thin and the fabric for the bandana is pretty thin. So you want to kind of like match that. And this is what we're going to use behind it. Now I do have the thicker stabilizer. This is also cutaway, and I brought it just to show you. This is more of a medium weight cutaway stabilizer, and as you see the difference in the thinness of it, this isn't very thin. It's actually pretty thick. But this is what I generally use for my cutaway. Whenever I'm doing shirts or pants or whatever, one of the first things I go to is this. But your t-shirts and your thin, lightweight fabrics, you want to go thin, lightweight stabilizer. And this is really strong, especially with that weave going through it. So this is some good, strong stabilizer, and I'll leave a link below. So that's what's on the back. As you can see in the hoop, this 4x4 hoop, you can see the Polymesh stabilizer, and it's a little not as tight up at the top because I got it too low. But most important thing is right here where we're going to be embroidering is good and tight. All right. Now the lines that we drew on the bandana, you want to be sure that you have your lines where you can see them really good. And then you take your guide on the top, this here, before you hoop it. So you lay down your stabilizer, then you lay down your bandana, and you want to put your top, this inner hoop, on top of the bandana while it's on the table. And let me see, do I have a hoop nearby? Yes I do. All right, so get ready to hoop this. Right now, this is taking a whole heck of a lot longer than what it's going to take you once you see how this goes. So it's lying on the table. You open it up, right? And we know that we're going to wear the bandana this way. So that's really important. You want to make sure so that it doesn't come out upside down, even though it's forgiving. You can, swap sides technically, but we don't want it upside down. So we marked it on this side. So when you open it up, you want to make sure that it's going to be face up so that when you wear it, the name is going to be on the right side. All right. So you take your inner hoop and you put your guide in. I love this guide, guys. This is like the best thing ever, especially with that pin. And we have the stabilizer on the back. We're pretending because I've already hooped it. And you line your guide up, of course, your center lines with the markings on your bandana so that your project comes out straight. And then you hold it in place and begin the process of hooping it and put it in the actual hoop. Now, before you put the inner hoop all the way in completely, just barely resting, because you should technically hoop it top to bottom. Some people have different ways to do it, but I do mine top to bottom and just rest the bottom and make sure with that guide in place, I make sure that it's lined up perfectly where you can't see those lines. All right. And I'll adjust it just a little bit, and then once I see that it's in the right place, then I go ahead and secure the hoop in place, this inner hoop. So now we have it hooped. So what we're going to do is go ahead and put this on the embroidery machine. And I'm going to have to move my webcam because this time I'm not recording with my phone. I'm doing it with the webcam so that I can be live. And I want to show this being put on the machine. So it's going to take me a minute because I've never moved the webcam before. So while I'm getting that arranged, do you have any questions? Because I don't see that anyone has put any chat in the box asking any questions. So hopefully I'm answering all the questions in regards to this that you may have. And then what I'll do is monitor that while I'm getting this camera moved. So give me a second. And we're gonna move this webcam. Excuse my messy look in the floor. All in the way. Can you move, please, sir? Thank you. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Boy. Jake, get over there. Move. Oh my God. I tell y'all, I can't win. Move, 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 move. Thank you. All right. All right. So here is the machine. And let me see if I can get my tripod to hold this. Oh no. Are y'all upside down? No, you ain't upside down. I don't look like it anyways. All right. That's McQuackins. Yeah, no, this ain't gonna work. Oh, I know how to get it to work. All right. There we go. Now we cooking with Crisco. Pop this in place. This live thing is crazy, man. Never done it live like this before. Well, thank you for the great explanation so far. I appreciate the feedback because, again, that lets me know I'm doing my job. All right, so here's the machine. Nope, nope, don't like that. There we go. I need to be able to see. I want you to see the screen. There we go. Sorry. All this adjusting and stuff. Miss Weinberg, not a question, but I appreciate that you taught me the importance of the guide because I've never, woo, girlfriend, that guide is the gospel. I love the guide. The guide helps make everything fantastic. It really does. And I don't want to go crooked again. Let's see. Whoop, whoop. How in the world did I make y'all crooked again? I don't even know. Can you tell I need a videographer? No, not good at it. Poor puppy had it. Yes, he did have to find a new nappy place because he was in my way. It was either that or me roll over on his tail, which I know he doesn't want that. Okay, so here is the bandana. We have it hooped. And I am going to go ahead and put it on the machine. I have black thread in, and that's not really the color that I want, but that's what I'm going to use for right now. So I have it on the machine. Move this out the way, move this out the way, jump, jump, jump everywhere. And now keep in mind, this is with what's on the machine, right? So we don't have any extra fonts or anything like that. So let me back out of this because I was working on something. And we're going to select letters. And I'm going to go with this. Well, no, because I did this in the picture. So we're going to do what's in the picture. All right, now I'm going to do my nickname. So I'm going to go medium. And then I'm going to do L-A-D, go over and do Y. So that's it. All we're going to do is put this foot down. And one other point I do want to bring out is check the settings on your machine, right? Anytime before you start to embroider, always pay attention to your markings where you've marked your lines. I don't know if you can see that well, but where you've marked your lines on there, make sure that your needle is dead center in the middle of that crosshair, right? Because that lets you know you marked your fabric right, your guide had the fabric right, and now the machine has it right. So the way, that way you know that your stuff is going to turn out right. You check that. Make sure that it's in the middle, and that's before it even starts, before it does anything. Make sure that that's in the middle. All right, now that's just a rule of thumb because some people don't think to pay that any attention, and that's really important. So since we have that, we're going to go ahead and press go. We got your stabilizer, we got our black thread, and we're going to put in a nickname. Yeah, you guys, that guide is really, really important. A lot of people choose not to use it. That's okay. You have the choice to do so. But when they give you the tools to do the job, take advantage of it because it's actually a good idea to use it. Do you have a trial? It goes around the area. Are you meaning a something to go on the hoop? I don't know what you're talking about. A trial, Miss Connie. Let me know what you're meaning, because I'm not sure. And always make sure that the rest of the fabric is out of the way so that you don't sew your stuff together, as I have done numerous times, numerous occasions. And you see how simple it was. It didn't take long. It didn't take a lot of setup. You didn't have to have embroidery editing software. The most important thing is, making sure that you have your markings to let you know exactly where your embroidery letters are going to go. And then our bandana should be done here shortly. What we'll do, actually, while that's finishing up, I'm going to go get the link to that stabilizer. Let's see. Oh, to show you where it's going to sew? I do, and I'll show you that here in a moment once this is done. I don't particularly care for the guide that's in the embroidery machine, because sometimes what it will do is show me the whole 4x4 area where it draws the box around the 4x4 area, and that's frustrating. That's not what I wanted to know. What I wanted to know is what is the area of what I'm embroidering, not the whole daggum area. So in order to see that with this machine, if whomever doesn't know or hasn't ever used it, what you want to do is go to adjust, then you want to go to layout, and see this here, it's showing it drawing a little box. You want to click that and it shows you, see, it worked right this time. Of course it would, because it's with built-in letters. And that shows you the area that it's actually going to embroider. All right, so just in case you missed it, we have our letters in and we were ready to sew, and you want to check the letter. It's adjust, it's layout, and here's your check the area of where you're going to sew. And that's how you find that. And as you see, our bandana is done. So we're going to take those letters out. We're going to pop this off. And I'm going to make a bunch of racket. Oh, got to raise the foot. Remember to do that. Doing 3 things at one time. Alrighty, so that's our wrinkly bandana. And of course, at this point, what you want to do is trim your stabilizer off the back. And this shows excellent tension when the majority of the threads on the back are your bobbin thread, which my bobbin is white. When the majority of the threads on the back is the bobbin thread color and just a smidge of it is your top, then that shows good tension. So your tension is important. And of course, we want to trim off these threads. I mean, not threads, these the stabilizer. And I'm trying to do this around the tripod. Can you imagine the foolishness? Nipping carefully, of course. I generally trim by holding the item because I've cut items so many times, it's ridiculous. So I usually hold on to it and trim around it that way. This isn't going to be perfect because, this is mine. Alright, so now that we have that trimmed, then we'll get our jump stitches, which there are a couple on here. And those really can't see, so I'm gonna leave the other two, and they're not that bad. All right, so let's go back to the computer view, and we'll try out our new bandana. And again, sorry for the junky desk and whatnot. Let's see. There you guys are. Hi, I missed you while I was gone on the opposite side. So now we're going to fold our bandana again, and remember we did it a little further down so it's not like dead center. And there we have our bandana. And the cool thing is, even if it's off like a smidge or whatever the case may be, you can fold it. Like your customer may want it further up, it can be folded a little bit higher, but ultimately you just put it on. Whoops. And there's your bandana. Now, I don't normally wear bandanas, so to me, I look crazy. And there's your bandana. And I can't talk. So that's how you do a bandana. I don't know. I can't remember who emailed me. Save the rest of the stabilizer. Yes. Yes. The stabilizer can be used to do all kinds. Actually, let's do it this way. So what do you use the rest of your stabilizer for, Miss Chamberlain? Because usually I throw it away. I've used it to patch things. I've used it to put under, give an extra layer of stabilizing under something else. What do you use the rest of your stabilizer for? Oh, thank you. Love that name. That was a nickname given to me by an auntie when I was a wee babe. So it's stuck with me ever since. So my family on my mom's side calls me Lady. So that's pretty much all I had for today. I didn't want to keep you guys long. I just hate I didn't have a video set up for you all yesterday because my internet was like kaput. In and out, it was crazy because of the dogs chewing on the wire. Hi, Miss Social Deb. Welcome to the Baby's Booty channel. Thank you for coming in and joining us. We were doing bandanas. I just finished one. Here's one with my name on it. And I was going to put it on, but I'm not good at putting on and tying bandanas, apparently. I don't usually wear them. So, oh, just anything. Oh, okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. And it's good to reuse, of course, because reusing helps not only save the environment, but it's less waste because you can always find many things to use your extra stabilizer for, especially when you're cutting out from these really small projects. So I wanted to show you all something else that I've been working on. I just got a new client yesterday, and he asked me to do something I've never done before, and that is embroider on shorts. How cool is that? So here I have a pair of shorts, and he wanted this emoji on the bottom of the shorts. Don't ask me why. That's what he chose. And so I did shorts today, and so you can do something like this on your 4x4 machine because that's what I use. And you pretty much lay it on the hoop. I hooped my stabilizer. I'll tell you how I did it. I hooped my stabilizer. I marked the center on the hoop and the stabilizer, and then that let me know where I want this center to fall so that I knew the top would be, the design would be where I wanted it to be. And then just laid this on that mark, pinned it down, and started embroidering. So I did shorts today. He also wants t-shirts done. So I'll be doing 8 pairs of shorts and 4 t-shirts with that emoji on them. I also have a couple of baby blankets that need to be done. One baby set that needs to be done for a little boy. And that's pretty much what I have going on here at the baby's booty. So I appreciate you all for tuning in. If there is any suggestion of videos that you would like to see, just leave it in the comment section below, or send a message and I will consider doing a video for it. For the most part, I don't mind doing the videos. They are based on what you're asking for. As long as I have the resources to do it, I'll get a video done. As I mentioned, I was intending to do a video with the cape for Jake. We're also looking at doing headbands. I actually practiced on one headband, but these are from Dollar Tree and the material is trash. And I think I used actually the thicker stabilizer for this. So I intend to try again on the Dollar Tree headband with this stabilizer instead. And I actually, where should I buy Sew It Pro? It's on their website, and the link to that is in the description box below. But the website is the letter S as in Sam, S and spell out AND, the letter S, computing, COMPUTING, if I'm not mistaken, snscomputing.com, and I'll double check that because I'm bad about telling people stuff and it's not right. Yeah, computing.com. So you can go there and purchase it. And there's a free trial, but the trial is limited. They used to not be limited, but for whatever reason, it's limited now, to where it will only do a few of the colors at the very beginning of a design. So my screen just blinked, so I hope I didn't lose you all. Yeah, it's telling me my signal is rough, so that could be the storm going on around me. But this is the headband from Dollar Tree, and I don't like the fact that it's all wrinkled and such. So we're going to try the more flexible stabilizer. And in doing the headband, I actually created a guide that I intend to offer for free on my website, because one of the things that frustrates me sometimes when I'm hooping, when I hoop the stabilizer only and then I want to put the item on top, right? And I'll show you what I'm talking about. So when I hoop the stabilizer, I'm going to use the thicker one so that I don't have to fight. And we go to hoop the stabilizer. There are a lot of projects where you can just float your item. I tend to not do that regularly, but a lot of times you can with some things, right? So here we have our stabilizer hooped, and we got our drum. Now, what I tend to do when I know like this, I did a float because it's so stretchy. I didn't want to hoop this and it stretch out of place. So this is something that I floated on top of the stabilizer. So in order for me to know exactly where I want to float the headband, I use the guide. Oops. And when you use this guide, you have to make sure that you can read it. All right, and I'm going to show you what I mean. So first of all, you want to make sure that your inner hoop is in with that arrow up. Very, very important. Then you put your guide in, because this thing is made to make sure that it's centered like it's supposed to be if you have everything in like it's supposed to be. So your arrow on that inner hoop is up. You have your hoop in, you put the grid on, and notice with this grid on, which I don't know if you can tell on this video because sometimes it reverses things, but it says ABC. So when you put this guide on and you look at it, you should be able to read ABC down at the bottom. If it's backwards or upside down or whatever, your guide's not in right, and you want to adjust that so that you can read the guide. And hi, Miss Mama's Reviews. Float, Miss Johnson. I'm gonna show you what float is. All right. So you put your guide on your hoop. Now they were nice, and I'm using an ink pen, but I wouldn't suggest using an ink pen. I would suggest like a pencil or your water soluble marker. But I'm gonna use an ink pen so that you can see it clearer. Your guide is in the hoop. Notice they have given you points on here. There's a hole here, 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 showing the center and the outer points on this grid. So you go and you mark it, right? So all I did was put dots in each hole so that when you take this off, you can see your dots. You can see them barely, but the dots are there. All right. You can see that bottom dot really well in center. All right. So your dots are there. Now, after this, what do you do? How do you find 1 inch down? How do you find, so that you can mark the rest of it and know where to float your item? So what I did is generally I will take this and lie it on. I have a cardboard mat that I bought from at that time it was Hancock Fabrics. Joann's Fabric sells them. Hobby Lobby sells them. It's a cardboard mat that folds out and it's really big, and it has all the measurements on it for a really large size item. I think it goes up to 60 inches or something to that effect. So I would lay this on the grid in the lines and mark the rest of the lines on here so that I'll know where I want my item to float. All right. Not everybody has that. I got that. So I made a little grid, and I'm going to show you what this is for. You take the grid and you put it behind and you line it up. Let me see. Oop. By looking at those dots on that you marked on the front, because you can see through the stabilizer, and you line it up just like so. I'm trying to make sure it's centered so that I ain't embarrassing myself out here. And you line it up, right? So now should be lying on the table, not you holding it up in the air, but you lay it on behind it and line this up, and then you can take your water soluble marker or the pen and you can trace and draw these lines in. So I would mark where this 1 inch line is here. So I'm going to lay it down and I'm going to mark it. And I know you can't see me doing this on camera. Wish I had tape right here beside me and then I'd tape it and show you. But I'm going to mark now. Here's the 1 inch and here's the other 1 inch up here. I'm going to show you why I'm marking 1 inch down and 1 inch above the center line. Now, I normally would take and draw in this line with my horrible tracing skills, especially holding it up in the air. Trace it and draw my lines, right? So that when you take it away, there's your 1 inch lines. All right. Miss Nancy Johnson, floating will come in. Let me grab my pens because I didn't have them sitting right here. Floating comes in when you lie it on top. You float it on top of your stabilizer. So here's the headband that I want to embroider. I'm just going to lay it right on top in between these lines because I know this headband is 1 inch. And I want my name to be right in the center, just like we did with the gray one. So you'll lay it on top, just like so. Yeah, I know somebody's outside. Jake's now. You lay it on top, and then you pin it down. Oh no, can y'all see it? I hope you can see that because I'm trying to make sure that I'm in the camera. Don't you bark. See how we pinned that in place? And then, no, you didn't see. See how we pinned it in place? All right, and you're following these lines, and you just make sure that it's centered evenly in between those lines. So once it's floated on top, you want to pin it down and pin it in place. So I'm gonna pin it over here, and make sure that when you pin it outside of the 4x4 grid. So as close to the edge as you possibly can pin is where you want to pin, because you don't want these pins to get under your embroidery machine, foot, needle, none of that. You really don't. All right, and see, once it's pinned in place, now we're ready to put this on the embroidery machine and put the name in the middle. That's how you would embroider on a headband. Now, I wasn't intending on doing two different tutorials in one, but this was simple and it was right here, and I could explain it quickly. And you put this on the machine and do the exact same thing that we did with the bandana. Your letters will be centered, and you just put in the letters that you want embroidered here. It's already going to be centered because we measured, and embroider on a headband. I've done a soccer team, headbands for the entire soccer team. I did headbands for a volleyball team. So, you know, headbands are pretty cool. And floating on top of stabilizer is really cool for some items. Now, not everything you want to float, but stretchy items are really good because you can pin it in place and pin all around it. Those shorts, I floated those. So I just pinned around the area where I knew it was going to be embroidered. And that's the concept behind floating on stabilizer. I tend to not do that frequently. I prefer to hoop my items for the most part. But if I'm trying to just get something accomplished and I'm in a bit of a rush, I'll not float it. I'll go ahead and I'll float it rather and pin it in place and embroider on it that way. Make sense? I hope that makes sense to you. And as I mentioned, I really wasn't planning on doing the tutorial for it because I like to let you guys see the stitch outs. But like I said, this one, and I'm pretty sure a lot of it has to do with the quality of the material of these headbands. They're terrible. They're not good at all, actually. I mean, this thing is so thin you can about see through it, about like pantyhose. But it's good for just a regular headband, nothing else to it, you know, and for a kid or whatever the case may be, not really for embroidery. This isn't. And honestly, the headbands, not the headbands, the bandanas as well, is not, you know, really the best quality either. I would prefer cotton, of course, to wick away sweat if you're going to wear it like I was attempting to wear it. And you're welcome, Miss Nancy Johnson. So yes, bandanas can be done, headbands can be done. This guide, since I already did a preview for it, I'll go ahead and make this available on my website. It's going to be free. So if you feel like you want to use this, it's not up yet. So I'll put it up as soon as the broadcast is over. About 15-20 minutes after the broadcast is over, I should have it up and ready. It'll be in a PDF. So all you have to do is open up the PDF, print it out, cut along the dotted line, and you got a guide. I did mine on cardstock, so it'll be sturdy, and you can keep it and keep up with it and just set it somewhere, or print out a couple of them so that you'll have them all around and you ain't got to worry about them getting beat up and such. Also, this is also something that I am intending to do. I mentioned to you all that we're working on doing the baby bib patterns out of the plastic. This is excellent to use for your plastic patterns, right? So this is the burnt cloth pattern. This same plastic, you would have a permanent marker. The only thing is you would have to mark your lines with, I guess, like a Sharpie, so that you can have those black lines to see up under the stabilizer. And it'll be like a permanent marker to help you mark your places under the stabilizer. So we intend to make some of these for you as well. And then the permanent patterns we're hoping will be rolling out here shortly. I keep talking about them and I want them out just as bad as you guys, but we got to make sure everything is just so we don't have any complications, and we definitely don't want to disappoint anyone because what they received was not superior as I like to send out. So thank you guys. Would it help to put a wash away stabilizer on top of the headband before embroidering? Does the name distort when headband is stretched? Okay, Sheila, I'm going to answer yours first. The name does not distort when the headband is stretched. Normally, not this one. This is El Cheapo, and it sucks. But on the, oh, here's one. This is a better high quality headband. These are the headbands that I was doing for the soccer team. All right. So these are still thin headbands, but they're not thin see-through. This is like anorexic thin. This is just a nice thin headband, lightweight, and it's stretchy, right? So once you do the embroidery, that's the point of the stabilizer, the cutaway stabilizer behind it, Miss Cushionberry, because the stabilizer helps keep those stitches in place and helps keep it from stretching and distorting when a person wears it. So that part of the headband, no, it does not distort, it doesn't stretch, and it holds that elastic behind it and stuff because, of course, the stitches are on both sides. So no, the name doesn't distort. But the wash away stabilizer on top, I don't think that it would make much of a difference. And the reason being is because you have to look at, well, this one is kind of thick, but thin. I'll tell you this, it won't hurt to try it. It really wouldn't, but I don't know that it would make too much of a difference. Because it's so thin, and it does have a little, well, this one is dried out, but usually it has like a little give to it, with this water soluble stabilizer that goes on top. Now for pile fabrics, of course, definitely. But I would give it a shot and see if it works, because it can't hurt. That's one of the things I love to do. I'll try anything just to see if it'll work, especially if it's not going to put my machine in any danger. I'd give it a shot and try it out and see if that would help. Miss Social Deb, you're welcome. Like I said, I'll have it up. It's going on 7, so I'll probably have it up by 7:30 on the website, and I'll have a link in the description below on my website, so that you can go there and download it for free. Should headband be slightly stretched when pinning to hoop? I do not stretch anything when I put it on the hoop. I don't, because what I found is if I stretch it as soon as it comes off, it reverts back and it kind of buckles a little bit. If you've done it and it's worked for you, it hasn't worked for me, because I made the mistake of not pinning it in place when I hooped it, and it stretched it a little, and it was horrible when I finally got it off of the machine. And it buckled and had me very frustrated, because it was an order for a customer and I had to eat that and redo it. So I don't suggest slightly stretching it, but if you do, what happens if you hoop the headband rather than floating it? Nothing negative at all. You definitely can do that. Just try your hardest, in my opinion, not to stretch it, because when I'm trying to tell you, when I stretched it was terrible. So you'll have to make sure that the when it's hooped, that it's not like super tight. And as a matter of fact, what I would do is, kind of like pull it a little away. Like, for instance, let me show you. If I were to hoop this now, and of course, as you see, I don't have the stabilizer behind it, but this is just for example. Yeah, both the arrows are up at the top. So this is pretty, yeah, okay. So it's in the hoop, and I have it resting. As you see, it's not all the way down. So that allows me to adjust the headband. And of course, it wants to pop out because I'm live. Why wouldn't it? Stupid thing. So it's fighting me. All right, now. Oh, well, and then I am holding it up in the air. Duh. All right, so let's get that back in place. And what that does is allow you to adjust it. So once it's in and I hoop it, which now is hooped, and I'm checking it out to see if there's any stretch to it. If I noticed that there was any stretch to this whatsoever, what I would do is pull on it, or maybe pop it out a little bit and pull on it or whatever, to get it where it's in its regular flat state, relaxed, not just limp, and then you can't embroider on it effectively, but I don't want it stretched either. So you can hoop them. You really can. I have hooped headbands As a matter of fact, I did super really thick headbands and I hooped those. And that was a pain in the butt, but I needed to do it for what I was putting on that headband. Yeah, see, this is stretched a little bit. You can tell because it's distorted. I wouldn't have it stretched, me personally. So yeah, anorexic thin. Yeah, these headbands are trash, ma'am. I'm talking junk about Dollar Tree stuff. I'm sorry, Dollar Tree. I love Dollar Tree. But yeah, these things are, but they're excellent for what you're going to use it for. If it's just to have it on and hold your hair back, it's perfect. I mean, because it's lightweight, it's thin, it shouldn't damage your hair. But as far as embroidering on it, I would rate this a D. I wouldn't even try anymore. I would rate it a D. But these bandanas, if I were to embroider on these, I would rate these a B, because it did, wrong bandana. It did have a little bit of, I don't want to say pull, that's the wrong word, but it kind of like bunched just a smidge because you're talking about polyester. And I very well could have used the heavier weight stabilizer behind this and it might not have done that, but I haven't tried that because I think that would be too heavy for the bandana. And this is sufficient because of course once you press it some, it wouldn't be quite as bad, but I would say this is a B, embroidering on it. So a heavier stabilizer would probably do this a lot better than that thin stuff. So there you have it. Thanks for your wisdom, newbie here, Miss Cushionberry. Technically, I'm a newbie too. I've only been doing this for right at about a year and a half, not very long. So Gene Walker says, what did I miss? Miss Walker, you didn't miss too terribly much, but I went over embroidering on a bandana and embroidering on a headband. So that was the subject of today's video, is the headband that I can't center while I'm on camera because my sense of direction is trash. So we embroidered on a headband, put a name on a headband, and I also showed how to embroider on, I'm sorry, that wasn't a headband, that was a bandana. And I also showed how to embroider on a headband. I didn't embroider on it. I just went over the steps that are involved, and we talked about a handy guide to help you line up your embroidery. So starch the band. This is this well this polyester fabric. Yeah, I guess you could starch it, but this I don't think is worth it. Honestly, I really don't, because it's just too thin. So I would get these thicker headbands, and if I can remember where I got them from, I'll leave a link to these below as well in the description, once we end the broadcast, because these are excellent headbands. I mean, I went through these and embroidered them like a champ, and they didn't flinch, didn't buckle. As long as the embroidery was good and solid, these turned out great. So these were excellent headbands, and they got a little bit more oomph to them rather than these little wimpy things. And as you see, they're bigger too. So these are more adult teenager size than these are more like for kids. So I would definitely do a thicker headband. Then you ain't got to worry about starching anything, because that one I didn't have to do anything to it. I had no issues out of it when I embroidered on it. So yes, they are good for practice bands though. Yeah. Well, you ain't got to worry about tearing up nothing. So, but thank you all for tuning in. It is 6:59. I told myself I am not going over an hour because that's rude to be on here and holding folks hostage for an hour. But I appreciate you all tuning in. It was a lot of fun today. This video is going to not supplement, replace our one for Tuesday that I didn't get to do because I have doggies that want to chew up my coaxial cable and destroy my internet. But that's been repaired now, so I hope to see you guys again live really soon. Thursday is supposed to be our live question and answer day, so hopefully my life will go really well and I can go live tomorrow. So that's what the plan is. Not sure exactly what time, probably about the same time frame. If another appointment tomorrow goes really well, if another appointment that I have tomorrow goes really well, I may be going live sooner than 6 o'clock, and then again at 6. But tomorrow, if what I have planned goes well, I may be live during the day, so I can share some really cool setups with you guys tomorrow. So we'll look forward to that. But again, thank you so much for tuning in. I will update those links in the bottom, so by 7:20, 7:30, you can check out the link for the guide, the link for the staples, and hopefully the link for the headbands as well, if I can find out remember where I got these headbands. They are cute and sparkly too. So, and I want to let you all know, of course, what we want to remind you all to do. Anytime you're doing your embroidery, make sure that you're having happy embroidering. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Have a great rest of your evening. Bye.